The evening of Sarah's work party wasn't about me. It was all about her. She'd been buzzing about it for weeks. A prime chance to connect with colleagues and impress the higher-ups at her marketing firm. My role was simple: stand by her side, steady and supportive, not steal the spotlight. I suited up in a sharp, tailored outfit, carried myself with quiet confidence, and prepared to let her shine. The venue was alive with music, laughter, and the hum of conversations. Sarah glowed as she greeted familiar faces, introducing me here and there. Most people exchanged polite handshakes and small talk, the usual courtesies. Then Daniel appeared, tall, self-assured, a smug half-smile that screamed entitlement. He shook my hand with just enough pressure to challenge me without words. "So you're Sarah's husband?" he asked, like I didn't belong in the room. I kept my face neutral. "That's right," I said. His eyes scanned me, a smirk tugging at the corners of his mouth. "Must be nice, not worrying about the grind while your wife climbs the ladder." His jab was subtle, but loaded. Sarah stiffened beside me. I didn't react. Men like him fed on responses, and I wasn't giving him one. But Daniel didn't stop there. Over the next half hour, his comments sharpened. Jokes about how I must have married above my station, how Sarah deserved someone ambitious, how I couldn't possibly understand the pressure of a cutthroat career. Each line nudged the group's attention, forced laughs, uncomfortable shifts, but everyone noticed his intent. Sarah tried to change the topic, yet he always circled back, relentless in the pursuit to provoke me. Finally, glass in hand, a few too many drinks under his belt, he leaned close and delivered the line he'd been building toward. In crowds like this, it's survival of the fittest. Some people can't handle it. Some just fade into the background. He glanced at Sarah as he said it, testing her loyalty. That was his mistake. I set my drink down deliberately, meeting his gaze evenly. Calm, composed. "You're right, Daniel. Not everyone can handle a competitive environment. But here's the thing. I've spent the last 10 years thriving in one that makes this look like child's play." His head tilted, skepticism flickering in his eyes. "Oh yeah? Doing what?" A small, measured smile played on my lips. Special Forces. A decade of deployments overseas. After that, private security consulting for high-profile clients. My work isn't office politics. It's outthinking and outperforming people whose full-time job is to end me. So forgive me if your brand of competition doesn't impress me much. For the first time that night, his cocky grin faltered. Color drained from his face as a hush fell over the circle around us. A few nervous chuckles rippled through the group, but Daniel had lost control. He muttered something about joking and immediately diverted his attention to his drink, avoiding me entirely. Beneath the table, Sarah squeezed my hand. Gratitude, quiet but unmistakable. I had remained composed until it mattered, and now the balance had shifted. For the rest of the evening, Daniel kept his distance. When we did interact, his voice had none of the earlier bravado, only cautious politeness, even a touch of deference. People who had witnessed the exchange seemed intrigued, asking about my work, my travels. I offered vague answers. This wasn't my stage. I hadn't spoken to boast. I had spoken to remind one man that appearances can deceive. Later, walking to the car, Sarah chuckled softly. "You didn't have to tell him everything," she teased. I glanced at her, a grin tugging at my lips. I didn't tell him everything, just enough. On the drive home, I reflected on how easily people judge others at face value. Daniel had looked at me and seen someone ordinary, someone he thought he could belittle without consequence. What he hadn't realized is that the most capable people rarely announce it. They don't need to. That night, I was content to let him learn the lesson firsthand. From then on, whenever I attended Sarah's office events, Daniel's behavior became almost comical, overly polite, cautious, giving me wide berth as if he were still unsure how much he didn't know. I held no grudge, but I doubt he ever forgot the night he discovered just how badly he had underestimated me.